Well, hello, YouTubes. Welcome back, campaigners. If you're new, I'm looking forward to you being one of my future campaigners. You're here in for the long haul, and you've been here, a dozen times before. Welcome back to you too as well. Welcome, noobs. Welcome, veterans. This is Campaign Terrain. I am your host, that guy Cross. Welcome to the basement. Tonight, I've got a bit of a strategy session. I kind of know where I'm going with the ship's sales, but I haven't finalized it, and there's some preliminary stuff I need to do that it takes too long to do on camera. So I'll be talking about that in a minute. Meanwhile, I've got several other things that I've got going on at once, not just that. So I meant to get some tea going a minute ago and forgot. So let me grab myself a cup of tea, and then we'll hop into it. Meanwhile, I'm going to tell you about my patrons. And my broadcast thing is being a little weird. Yeah, all right, here we go. Okay, these are the fine folks that keep me in glue sticks and keep this channel running, so to speak. I've got DC, that's Digital Calibrator, close personal friend, comes over and helps physically around here as well as helping me monetarily. Huge thanks to DC. Also, huge thanks to all these people, all of these lovely people as well. The next one is Patrick Walther. He runs a YouTube channel called Hacksaw's Hobby Bunker, and he builds lovely stuff. He and I don't build sort of the same sort of things. I don't know that he's ever built fantasy stuff. He builds like modern or postmodern, like post-apocalyptic type stuff, generally run down, car washes and gas stations and that sort of thing. I don't think he's done a car wash, but you know what I mean, that sort of thing. The yeah, sorry, lost my train of thought. Dungeon Matron, that's Lisa. Lisa is on a YouTube channel called Just Flocking With You, which she shares with Kim from Questboard Terrain and Carl of Carl Make Stuff. She also has a lively Discord where we talk about all sorts of things, crafting and such. Links to Lisa's, that's Dungeon Matron's Discords are in the down below, so look down there. I've got Solo Nick, buddy of mine from England. He has two channels. One is called Solo Nick. That's where he does crafting. He's also got one called Climbing Moss, where he does man about town stuff and talks about places he's gone, places he's visited, historical things, that sort of thing. And then there's Mia Geek. That's Mia or Pepper. And Pepper has her own channel called Mia Geek and is also on the Twitch channel Shadows of Arconia. Shadows of Arconia is a place where they get together and play tabletop games of various different types. Yeah, that's pretty much all of that. Big shout out and huge thanks to all of them. Your name could be here. I'm always happy to accept more. Let's go here to the right-hand camera where you can actually see me crafting and such. Please, as always, like, share, subscribe, and after this, refresh the page and give a comment. If you're watching from the future, go ahead and comment now, please. It helps drive the algorithm. I'd really appreciate that. Excuse me, sorry about that. Whew, once again, my tea is super piping hot, so we'll set that to the side to cool just a little. All right, so I've been making a bigger and bigger and bigger mess as I worked on this ship, so I'm trying to clean some of that up now. I left it specifically so you could see, it's not all glam and wonderful as we're making stuff. You got to clean up after yourself and all that sort of thing. So all three of these knives are going to need sharpening. These pencils are probably okay. I use them all the time. I'm just going to leave them there. These are those wire brushes I was using for texturing foam. I'm not texturing foam right now, so let me get those out of my way. Oop, here goes a flashlight. I think that's my dead one, so that's not such a big deal. All right, put those back in my various texturing thing. I also remember last week I had the texture sponge thing. I'm tossing that in there as well. Sanding sponge, not texture sponge. Well, I guess technically it is texturing. But yeah, who we got going on? Kelly Manus first. Hello. Always good to see you, Miss Kelly. All right, so we've got a bunch of knives to sharpen. Now, I absolutely, completely recommend getting, it doesn't have to be this brand, a diamond type sharpener. This one has a sharpening side and a honing side, and or a rough side and a smooth side, however you want to word that. That will save you more than the cost of the sharpener in blades over the long run. So I've got to, and it just takes a second to hone these back up and get those ready to go for the next trip. I don't know that I'll need those tonight, so I'm going to leave them out just in case. I know I just put the pins up and I'm leaving the knives out. I have no continuity. I'm sorry about that. What's the best way to sharpen knife? I don't know. I just kind of hold it at what I feel is the right angle and hope, really. All right. Oh, tornado alert. Oh, dang. It's barely even cloudy here. Oh, I'm sorry that you're running into the rough weather, maybe. So, anybody in the Central Florida area, the tornado's coming. Be careful. Okay, so that's the knifey sharpened. All right, so I have two wood rubble piles. One is this jar, holds just different random pieces, and so anything that's just random bits of wood rubble from offcuts and things like that, broken pieces, whatever, they all end up in here. Make sure none of these are plastic or anything. Those go in a different spot for now. So tossing all the wood in here. I keep these and I make rubble piles out of it. I swear I've got a rubble pile video coming. Oops, I just dropped one on the floor. Once they're on the floor, they're dead to me. I don't care. But I've got plans to make like 8 different videos, and I just never get to it. I've got like 10 other things going on. I will one of these days. It's not like I'm not doing anything. I just haven't got back in. The editing is the problem. I don't mind shooting the videos. I don't mind planning the videos. I don't mind talking about, through the videos or doing voiceovers after. I don't really script, but I kind of know where I'm going with it. So I never have a problem with any of that. It's just the editing. It's a pain in the painful spot. Okay, so I also have a spot that's pointy bits of wood. So I can use these for like fences, railings, portcullises, jail cell doors, that sort of thing. So these are my pointy bits, wood and rubble. So those can actually go back behind me on a shelf, but I'm going to leave them here for now. I'll get those later. All right, then I'm not using these ice cream sticks, so I'll put them back in my ice cream stick box. No, you had us out. Why aren't you using us for? Yeah. You'll get there. It's not like I don't use enough of these sticks. Okay, then I've got foam. Now, I have like 9 different places to put foam, and I don't have any of them at hand. So, in order to do that, let me do a couple other projects real quick, and then I will get back to the foam parts here in a minute. Okay, I've just been playing around. This is business cards that I taped together and just made a cube out of. It's not supposed to be a die or anything. I just was messing around. So I like to keep creative thoughts running through my head all the time. So sometimes I just play around with stuff. This will probably end up being like the MacGuffin in some adventure, like, oh, the Cube of Doom or whatever. So I don't know where that's going yet. I've got a bunch of chicken bones. That grosses some people out, so we'll skip that for now. I do have plans to use a bunch of bones in a build because to scale, chicken bones compared to little guy, it look like big monster bones. That's the thing in the future. So these will go with my other stack I've got. Pile, box, I don't remember where they're at. A squirt bottle broke this week of the housemates. So they were tossing it out, and I'm like, oh, that's a sturdy spritzer. That'll work for some diluted glue. So I've got this is an actual brand name detergent type of sprayer, as opposed to the Dollar Tree little bottles I get. The Dollar Tree bottles are fine. They're just not rugged enough to handle white glue going through them. Another meat tray. I use trays for all sorts of stuff, usually when I'm drying flock that I've made. So there's that. I keep all sorts of straws and tubes. I have a whole section I labeled the internet because it's a system of tubes. And so that's going to end up in there. Actually, let me turn around and do that. I said I wasn't going to put the other thing up, but let me do that. So let me put the system of tubes up. Okay. And this seems like a good time to ask. Anybody out there crafting? Are y'all just hanging out as ever? Just hanging out is fine. Crafting is also good. Okie dokie. Let's put all of my wood bits in my wood box for now. It's always right here behind me, so I can always get these out as I need them. Oh, hey, I did just find all of my bamboo skewers, which is what I'm going to use for my yardarms for my ship. So I'm going to put those on top of the box. And these don't really have a jar they'll fit in. I guess I'm just going to hope they don't fall over. And chopsticks, which I might make yardarms out of chopsticks instead. It depends on how sturdy I think they need to look. I'll look at some pictures of ships before I get to that. Again, more strategizing about sails tonight. I also got this kind of cool box here that is, I don't know, just a square, but it's an interesting height. I'll probably make a platform out of it rather than using it as like a shipping box or anything like that. So that's kind of cool. Make sure I'm not doxing anybody. We'll just put it out of the way and make sure. Okay, that's going. Okay, that can go in the other room, but for now we will oh, more wood, more lumber pieces, fake lumber, you know what I mean? Yep. All right, so is this all wood? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so my next project, while I'm just talking, will be, I've got these, in front of my drinks, way too much energy drinks, way too many, way too much, whatever. And it's these trays. I am not sponsored nor specifically endorsing them. I just use trays for lots of storage. So I'm going to take these and rigidify them because they get wonky on the sides. So that is what I'm doing right this second is cutting. But oh, I also have the plastic pieces left over from my making the window for my pirate ship. But I don't really know where to put those because my big sheets of mesh that this came off of just slide in between something. They don't actually have a bin. So I don't know where these are going for now. So for now, we're just sitting those off to the side. I don't want to just put them in with my plastics because they're little. They'll go right to the bottom of the box. And then I might as well not even have them. Okay. So I'm trimming off these. These are not the best made boxes ever, so they're never symmetrical. Just trimming those off to be level across the top. All right. Yeah, I did say ship, but I'm actually not doing anything building on it tonight. I'm only talking about it tonight. But it's good to see you, Nick. Salty Nick's has a channel called Salty Nick's. Does lots of, I want to say calligraphy, but I don't know if the scripting you do is only calligraphy or if it's called something else. Anyway, does amazing work with pens and nibs, and also tells stories as the videos progress, and puts out adventures and such based on the things in the videos. So all around good stuff. So go check out Salty Nick's channel. All right. I'm gonna trim all these off real quick. So I am thinking, I know last week I said, I'll show you what I'm talking about later. Well, I'm not quite showing you yet, but I will describe it. What I'm thinking of doing with the yardarms is putting a little tiny, not ringlet, but like a little bumped out piece of metal that I'm going to attach to the yardarm, almost like attaching the rings, I don't know what to call them, on a fishing pole, because those get attached to the fishing pole and like glued down and then wrapped with string or twine or whatever material you're making your fishing pole out of. But I'm planning on doing the same thing with my yardarms. And then that little bumped out piece of metal, I'm going to hang on a hook on my masts. And that way I can, for putting it away, I can just take the yardarms off. Remember, I'm making all of my sails furled and not unfurled, so that the ship's always going to be in port. So that's my plan anyway. So I don't really need big wide sails. That's part of the strategizing. We're now into that. The just over 3 inches. Okay, good to know. So the sails, I have a bunch of fabric. I have a whole box of fabric, and I can use any number of those pieces. This is also just over 3 inches, so that's good. That makes cutting some of this much easier. All right. And what was I saying? Use a straight edge cross is what I was saying. It's not what I'm saying. Okay. So I'm going to hang the yardarms from the little hooks, and then I can take the yardarms off the hooks and put them away. And then I can take the masts off and put them away for ease of storing the ship on a shelf when I am not actively gaming with it. I think I'm going to make 2 entire sets of furled sails. Now, I do plan on the spinnakers being unfurled, just because I can't figure out how to furl a spinnaker correctly in scale. The spinnaker's the triangular sheet. They're called sheets, not sails. The triangular sheet on the front of the ship. That's, well, it's there for reasons. I know the reasons. You can look it up if you want. But long story short, it's supposed to be there. The spinnaker's the triangular pieces on the front, and I may have those so that they are unfurled when attached. And I was going somewhere with that. But anyway, all of my sheets, the spinnakers and all of them, are technically a spinnaker is not a sheet. A spinnaker is a sail. Sheets are square. That doesn't matter. It depends on which area you're talking about. So I'm planning on making them in at least 2 colors. A nice cream white color, which is your basic, sailing ship, and some also the Black Fleet kind of thing, whether you call it piratey or you call it, the Demon Lord ships are coming or whatever, playing around with it. Yep, that's going to be too tall. That's what I thought. So go ahead and take about 1/4 inch off that, and just to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I'm taking that 1/4 inch off of this side with a hinge. That way I don't foldy bit. That way I don't have to worry about it later. Alrighty, and I'm not being super precise with this. Like I said, these are just my storage boxes. So I'm planning on making a set of black sails, or super dark gray, I haven't decided yet, and a set of cream/white sails. Those will be furled. Those will be lashed to the yardarms, and will be intended to just hang there when, I'm actually playing with my little boat. It's not a boat, it's a ship. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to use these as a gauge and cut a bunch more thingamies. So, yeah. Now, that box, for those of you who have been paying attention and, over the long haul, the box that I am using as, quote, the mechanicals box that drives the rudder and all of that, I am... that one deck, I was thinking I wasn't going to attach another piece to because I was like, nah, it'll be fine. Well, I've decided, nah, it's not going to be fine. So I will be enclosing the back section of that deck as well for reasons. Okay. And make sure I got the right one there. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. And so that I'll be doing off camera. Y'all have seen me build little boxes for the ship before. That's fine. You don't need to go through all that again. Y'all saw me build the new railings last week, so I'm done railing. I'm done railing about this ship. That's a pun. Sorry. Some of y'all like puns, and sometimes every time I tell a pun, somebody's like, "Oh my God, that's so horrible. Puns are the lowest form of humor." And then other people are like, "Ah, that's the funniest thing I've heard all day." So when I tell puns, it's a thing. Okay, you two go here. You go here. You're going to need to be my marker stick. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to need of this. I'm just going to cut a bunch. The something about the ship. I don't know what I was about to say. Oh, cargo is coming up soon. Not immediately, but soon. And I'll be doing that. Then that will mostly be cargo shaped things with tarps over them. I don't know that I'm going to go all out and make barrel looking barrels for inside the ship's hold. So those may only be silhouettes under tarps. If I do that, the barrels will be not barrel shaped. They will be just cylinders because it's just easier. When I get around to having some barrel shaped stuff, I do have a super secret technique. Okay, it's not that super secret, but it is unique to me. I've never done it before. I mean, I've never seen anybody else do it before. So that might be fun. So stick around, join the channel, enjoy. So go ahead and take this hinge off. I might be able to get 2 out of here, just even though this one's going to be a little thin. Yeah. No, that's got that flappy bit glued to it, and then the other one's going to be narrow, so I'll just take this off and use this for something else. I will save the cardboard for something because it's nice, long, straight sheets of card. Oh, I asked if anybody was crafting or anything like that, and then I haven't even looked up at the thing since then. I've been babbling and babbling. All right. Let me finish this cut. It's going to be, well, these 3 or 4 cuts that it's going to take to get through this one. And you off to the side. Yep. Everything wants to fall to the floor. Okay, and then take this. A quick mark here. And a quick mark there. Not that these all need to be the same. They're just, I just want to make sure it's shorter than the box so I don't have any conflicts going on there. All right, now that I am at the basically last cut on this box. Okay, not identical things, but mine's a mashup of styles. So not just calligraphy, but similar. Copper plate or English round hand. It's beautiful. You do great work. No, I don't care what it's called. It's lovely. All right. Mishmatch of styles. That's fine. This is a crafting subject matter. All this gaming we do, where people kit bash and trash bash and whatever bash all the time. So script bashing is fine. It's good. Callie says true. Or always gonna make it your own. True. And then Salty Nick is saying true, but it wasn't really deliberate. More like a refusal to learn it properly. Whatever. You know, the original NASCAR drivers learned by running away from cops. That's not exactly a classic training method either. So, you know, whatever works, whatever gets the job done, whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. It's all right, as the song goes. Okay. I am probably going to need more than that, but let's start with this one. I'm going to keep the one that's my measuring stick off to the side here. Straight edge over here. And I want to peel off these little wax paper things because this hot glue is not going to stick to that. And then we will start doing the thing. Oh, put the knife away, dingus. Okay. So the first one of these I complete is where all this foam is going, in case you're wondering why. He's got that pile of foam still sitting there. Yes, I know. Okay, so I want to take this and do this. Ooh, I had this on high temp, which I don't normally use because I knew I was going to be using a lot on this card. And I decided I'm going to take it in slower steps, so I just turned it down, but it hasn't cooled off yet. Oh no, I got it too tall. All right, I have a way to fix that. I can fix it. This is fine. You know what? I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to make the boxes taller. It's just going to be a thing. By doing that, if I line up the strip with the bottom of the box, then it just makes the top of the box taller, and I'm fine with that. But then you trimmed all that stuff off for... Yeah. I got it. I understand how it works. All right, so In the game I'm writing, I am to the point of I had less than 8 things I needed to, I don't even know where to start. Been working on this thing for like 30 years, right? So I've got notes and scribbles and Post-its and whatever. Shouldn't say brand names, not Post-its, they're sticky, whatever, from years. And those are, I keep thinking, oh, I've got them all done. I've got everything I ever wanted to add to a game added to this game. It's ready to go. And then I come along and I'm going to have to do a thing here. Y'all don't need to know that. Then I keep finding more files, more things that I can add in, more little notebooks with scribbles in them. And so I am to the end of doing that, and then I'm not. So I am really genuinely almost to the end of doing that. In the meantime, I have actually figured out how I am going to create my worlds, because I told you there's more than one. There's a lot more than one. So what I have is a technology levels thing. And so I'm going to use my technology levels thing to figure out random chance which worlds have which things, which types of technology. Some may have a lot of literacy and everybody and their dog is educated. Others maybe not so much, but that one may have 27 kinds of magic while the literacy one has like 1, et cetera, et cetera. So now I just drew this line right at the edge of that. I'm always getting too close or too far, so I'm actually going to move over about 1 millimeter when I cut this off, and I am going to need a straight edge for that. And so I am to the point where I have that technology spreadsheet. It's really a spreadsheet. It really is. I was trying to use a different word for some reason. I got that technology spreadsheet spread, so ready to go, so I can roll random numbers to get tech levels and such. Then I will be at a point where I can actually begin writing. The problem is I've been sort of writing, and I keep creating redundancies and such. So I need to be to the point where I can, what am I trying to say? Separate everything into world building sections and system building sections. The system's going to be same across all of my games. Each world's going to be set in, each game is going to be set in a different world. So they will have different looks and feels based on that technology thing and some other, and I've also got a societal arrangement one. So that world building will be then tacked on top of the system. So I am almost to the point of creating the system. But once I have the system down, then the rest is just lore, and I can create lore like bing, bada, bing, bada, bing. I am good with the loring. I am the lore ass. I speak even when people don't want me to. The trees are like, dude, speak for us. All right, I'll get to it. Sorry. Apologies to Dr. Sayus right there. Dr. Sayus, what the hell? That's how it was pronounced. It's just not how it's pronounced. Anybody who's seen The Simpsons knows. Dr. Sayus, Dr. Sayus. Dr. Sayus, Dr. Sayus. That's actually a reference to Planet of the Apes, not... skip it. I'm mixing my metaphors. What was I talking about? Oh, right. So Nick does calligraphy is what I was talking about. Or not calligraphy, as it were. And I'm almost to the point of having my system ready to go. I know that everybody is super excited about my percentile system that I'm going to be using. And now I'm not. What? You were so super excited about... Yes, I know. I'm using a dice pool system. I have listened to many people on many different fora, and the overwhelming consensus seems to be I want to roll all of the clacky math rocks at once. And so I'm like, well, okay, I can do work with a dice pool. We'll make that go. We'll make that go. We'll make it go. So it's going to be a dice pool now. If you're super duper into percentile and you're now unsubscribing, well, okay, bye. You can come complain to me on the Discord. By the way, I have a link to the Discord in the down below down there. So if you want to come complain to me about the game or talk to me about the game or talk about anything, if you're tired of hearing me ramble at night and you're like, dude, shut up, come over there and tell me. That's not what I want. Okay, come on. Come on. Alrighty. Straight edge. Alignment. Notch for bending. Fold it up. Figure out where it's going to go. Mark the other part I need to cut off. On the other end. Mark that. Just move over another millimeter just because. Don't really need to mark that. Take that off. Close the knife for safety because I am dumb and will cut myself. Forgetful and will cut myself. Alrighty. So for the ship I've got coming up, I'm going to build that one box. And then I will be doing the sales. I will probably be doing the sales on next week's episode. Next week's live stream. It's not an episode if it's a stream, I guess, but you know what I mean. And I will have decided then which color of the sails shows up better on camera. Can't speak tonight. I will then take that color of sails and be working on those next week. And probably. Oh, the small box in the back of that one deck, sails. Build out the console where the steering wheel goes. Build a steering wheel and attach it. Rudder. Cargo. Actually, the cargo could go at the end. Rudder. Hammocks and bunks. Actually, those could go with the cargo. So the next would be paint. So I guess like 6 steps from now is painting. My ship is going to be brown and purple. Don't know if any of y'all have remembered that, but it'll be brown or black below waterline and purple above the waterline. Why? I like purple, and I asked people for color options, and nobody suggested anything. So I'm deciding for myself like an adult. So just really like purple. All right. Need some trays for your pressure pot by just cross-laminating 2 pieces of cardboard. Surprisingly strong. Yeah, I do that with my where are they? I call them project boards. I paint on them, but I also use them for other things. And this is obviously pizza box shaped, but the layer between them runs the other direction rather than thing. And it, makes them super strong. So for those of you that are missing that, what we're talking about is if you're gluing 2 layers of corrugated cardboard together, layer them perpendicular to each other, and that way the cross hashing of the grains makes them very sturdy. I don't know if you can tell them. Sort of flexing that. Pretty chunky board, really. All right. I have 1 box down. You're like, it's 34 minutes in. You've done 1 thing. Yeah. We have talked about a lot. Or, okay, I've talked about a lot. Anybody else want to talk about stuff? I can listen to y'all talk. I'm always interested in what y'all are doing. I'm going to do this one brown on the outside just cause. I don't know why. That's way more glue than I actually need for the amount of sturdy I am going for. But whatever. Wasting glue. Gonna cost me extra money. I am dumb. All right. Okay, dokie. Yep. Oh, I did not mark this one. That's going to end up gluing down, and I'm going to have to pry it back up before I do the thing. That's all right. There we go. Okay, let's scrub all that off before it hardens. By the way, I know I say this all the time, but hot glue does not dry. Hot glue hardens or congeals or sets up or whatever, but it's not drying because it's not wet. For that matter, water's not wet either, but that's a whole scientific discussion I don't feel like getting into. All right. Okay. It seems that low temp is still working for me, even on the large spreads, because I am taking moments between the layers to do the things, and it gives the gun time to stay warmed up and ready to go. I think I did this differently last time. Meh, whatever. It's all good. I don't know if you can tell, but I really am using less glue now. Okie dokie. Now, we're going to take that and we will mark that thusly. And I'm bending it around the corner to keep it square so that I can keep all my lines lined, really. My lines lined up. Straight edge. Mark it between points. An extra little gap. And what to do. Keep my thumb out of the way. Don't be dumb like a couple weeks ago. Why does he keep calling himself dumb? Because I keep doing things like cutting myself with knives I've used 100 times before. Okay, let's remember to mark it before gluing it this time. I don't know why I'm making everything sing-song. La la. Oh, yeah. What character does that? Some character in some show that does that. I have no idea who I'm emulating. By the way, when I'm running this across, I'm not cutting. I'm just using the pointy bit of the metal to score this so I can get a good fold. So you gotta know how to fold them. That's not how the song goes. Okay. Leave a little gap. Hack off the thing. Ew. Yep. Probably didn't even need that last run of glue, but whatever. Okie dokie. Oh, yeah. So I said when I finished my first box, I was going to put the foam in it, and I didn't put the foam in it. All right. This is my second box. we're going to use the second box. Okay, and I have all these little cubes I cut out from making those little portholes. So those will be useful as like crates or bricks or something in my rubble piles or in cargo. So like I said, everything pretty much gets reused. Now, this is not a particularly green hobby, especially since I've had to buy some of the foam and it's eventually going to end up in a landfill. It's not the greenest hobby in the world to begin with, especially if you do stuff like laser cutting, which I do, or 3D printing, which I don't yet. By the way, if anybody wants to send me an FDM printer, hit me up on the Discord and I'll give you the address. I would happily use an FDM printer. Not really excited about it though, so you don't have to be like, no, he needs the printer tomorrow. No, I'm good. So that needs to go in a different spot because that is not an empty box. It's a fold for now box. All right, so excuse me. I don't know what I was about to say. Give me a second to think about what I was about to say. So the so dice pool. I'm using dice pools instead of percentiles now because reasons, I guess. Okay, this box is taller than the other. Whatever. They don't have to be perfect. They're just holding trays, Cross. Chill, man. Chill. So, not even messing with the pencil this time, just scoring. Okay. And the reason I'm scoring first, I could easily bend it around the corner, but it lets me know where to put the glue up to at that point. Using boiled flour as glue, yeah, you can make cold porcelain that way and several other things. You can also do the furniture out of cardboard with boiled flour. I just don't have a heating system of that type down here in the crafting basement, or I probably would do. I could make it up in the kitchen and bring it down, but I've got like 19 other kinds of glue. I don't really need it at this point. I've got somewhere, it's not somewhere, I know where it's at, right over there, but I've got air dry clay as well, and I never get around to using that. So making my own clay porcelain or whichever, there's no point in that. Channel called Nighthawk and Light made functional furniture by just laminating layers of cardboard. That may be the one I've seen because it suddenly popped up everywhere. That one video went like super viral. The one with the little red stool. And I've seen there's a couple. It's a really common thing in Spanish-speaking countries. So I have seen several other ones, but they don't seem to get the play since the internet is pretty much America-centric. So yeah, there's all sorts of cool stuff you can do with cardboard. I've seen entire coat racks, and I'm like, I've had wooden coat racks that wouldn't support, like, I've got a big Western style duster coat. I've got a leather motorcycle jacket, and I've seen wooden coat racks that won't support those. And the cardboard stuff, I apparently you can make it so it would. And I was just like blown away by that. I was like, what? No way. But way, bro. Okay, this time I'm just making the mark a little further over. That way I don't have to worry about trying to math in my head in a moment. Technically, I'm doing it at the beginning for the end, but you know what I mean, buddy. You know what I mean. Okay. He's making the weird voices again. Yeah, yes. He wants to be a voiceover actor, so he does weird stuff with his voice all the time. Yes, yes. We know. We know. By the way, I want to be a voiceover actor. Nobody knows how to get into that. You know, I don't mean kind of like, well, you could try. No, I mean, if you're in that industry and want to give me some pointers, I would love to hear that. Whoa, tea down, tea down. No, I hate wasting tea. Oh, well. Oh, tea on my remote. That's no good. Sounds like a euphemism. Dude, that guy got tea all over his remote. Not a euphemism. I've got tea all over my workbench now. Give me a moment. Oh, I'll switch to the other one. You can see what I'm doing. So yeah, oops, sorry, this light's really bright. So I just backhanded that reaching for my glue gun. So ooh, that's dead. We don't need that anymore. That super glue is super dead. It's been dead for years. I just found it in a box the other day and I was like, oh, I need to throw it away, and of course haven't. Wet naps. I don't. Ooh, and a razor blade. Put that over there. Wet naps, which I don't ever use as wet naps. I take them out and let them dry and use them as things like tarps and other sorts of drill bit. That needs to go with my drill. Okay, or my Dremel, or my various roto tools. Roto Tool's a brand, and I don't have a roto tool, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. He's just dropping that tea all over the floor. Why? Yeah, it's a concrete floor. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. This is fine. I'm more worried about the fact that I got it directly into one of my remotes, and ooh, that goes with shaping tools, and into my hot glue gun, which is now potentially a fire hazard. So that'll be fun. Anybody ever see I've had the same thing happen, just as exciting, but not on camera. Anybody ever seen the DM Scotty video where he's literally using a glue gun when it goes kaboom in his hand? It's impressive. I've had it happen to me before as well. It's always the little cheapy ones. There are big cheapy ones as well, but I've never had one of those blow up spectacularly. They just kind of go, or they just suddenly don't work one day. But the little ones, it's like they're trying to make a point on the way out the door. They just everywhere. Anyway, back to what I was doing. All right. Let's see. See if my hot glue gun shorts out while I try to use it. Okay, so far we're doing good. Alrighty. Does glue get stuck and boil? Or what? When you're boiling like flour glue, everything I've seen that talks about making flour glue, cold porcelain, DIY this, do all that, all the ones that require heat in a pan, every single one I've seen says stir it, stir it, stir it, stir it, stir it, stir it, stir it the entire time it's cooking. So if that's what you're asking, then I'm not sure boil is the right word. Since most of those are Spanish stations, I'm going to go with en fuego. I did it again. I didn't mark it first, so I'm going to screw myself up with the glue. Okay. Okay. Yeah, screwed that up. That's all right. We're going to go right down that same line, and that glue should re-melt the other glue. Okay. If that's what you're asking. No, why do glue guns explode? I don't actually know. I think that the heating element inside it just wears out over time, because technically it's a moving part. It doesn't seem like it, since it's, when you look at like a toaster, it doesn't look like it's a moving part, but there's billions of little electrons going through there. Electrons don't really move like that. What they do is they slide over a little, bump the next one. But eventually, hypothetically, now, they can come back through and go the other direction and come back through. So hypothetically, it's not the same electrons, but overall, the effect is that at the far end, electrons are moving through the circuit. Therefore, it's a moving part. All moving parts, even at an atomic molecular level, will wear out. So the one that I had that exploded, there's tape inside that's like this brown heat-resistant tape that held some of the wires in place and such. And it is supposed to be brown, but it's supposed to be sort of a tea or coffee semi-transparent sort of brown. And it was brown, like dirt brown and crusty on the one that I specifically opened up after it exploded. Most of the time, they're $2 a piece. Unless I'm saving the parts as for like crafting with, I don't take them apart. They're $2. I just get another one. I need to move over a millimeter. Forgot. Keep the fingies out of the way. Okay, so the one that I have dissected of the little size of the it just looked like it had burned out over time. It just overheated and got to that point. There was no glue in the mechanism part that burns out. I've got one. Hold on just a second. My one that I started the channel with that I actually really, really liked, they don't make the exact same model anymore. So I just got whatever else was in the same sort of price point when I got this one I'm using now. And come on. Okay, very set up. All right. Let's see if the mechanical parts are still in here. No. Let's see if the mechanical parts are still in here. No. These are my catch-alls. Eventually, I'll sort these into various different types of plastics for different things. In case you'll wonder about my organization or lack thereof. Okay, in my pile of electronical things for crafting with, not that one. Holy crud, this is heavy. Nope, that's all hard drive pieces. Why do you have so many hard drives? Yeah, I've been in the computer industry since the 80s. So, anyway, inside there's two things. It's a square, and one side's got a heating element, and the other side's the side where the glue comes through. There's wires that run to the heating element, and it heats the whole block of metal. That's why it takes it a minute for them to warm up when you start. And where the wires connect and all that, there's like sometimes like a little transformer sort of thing inside there. Anyway, the whole top part of that can just get, or the bottom part, that's actually heats from the bottom, and the glue comes in the top. Glue goes through here, and this part heats up right here. And sometimes they just get to that point. And they're only $2 in the first place. You cannot expect them to be the greatest thing ever built. So that is the issue with hot glue guns going. Okay, so this has a thing. Oh, that's why I started it that way on the other one, because it had a sticky on both sides. That's why I did that one white on the out instead of brown. Yep, I'm going to run out before this box, but I'm not going to need a whole other box. Let's cut some more cardboard, y'all. That'll be fun. Oh my God, he's back to the thing. Yeah, yeah. Okay. What else we got going? Oh, hey, LC. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was you coming in. Hell of a day, 12-hour shift. Oh my God. Huge storm rolling in with possible tornadoes. Yeah, this whole East Coast is getting stuff. Oh, you're getting hailed on there, Kelly? I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's here. It's pleasant. I don't know. I was when I came downstairs. I don't know that now. And ever seen an extruder from a hot glue gun and turn plastic bottles into FDM filament? I have seen something similar, but I think they were literally just using the plastic bottles as glue, which I think will also work. I think. Not an expert at the reclaiming plastic bottles. Everything in this hobby is like another hobby on top of the hobby. It's why I barely use my laser and don't have a 3D printer and don't get into this and don't get into that and don't get into this and don't get into that, because it's all yet another hobby within the hobby. So I have no expertise at the using reclaimed plastic bottles for anything other than just their normal standard shapes when I'm doing builds for buildings and things. Oh, don't cut self. I have seen people put the plastic through hot glue guns, but I don't know what their purpose in so doing was. There you go. That's as thorough as I can get on that answer. God, I asked a simple question. You just went on and on and on. Yeah, I do that. It's a thing. I don't know where I put my other little pieces of cardboard. Oh, they fell on the floor. Of course they did. Why wouldn't they? They didn't quite make it to the actual floor. As I said before, once you fall on the floor, you're dead to me. Not with like people who are laying on the floor, like inanimate objects. You know how it goes. Oh my God, he said he hates everybody who's ever been on a floor. No. It is not what I said, or implied, or feel. Okay. So, yeah, I'm almost to the point of really buckling down and doing the system for my game, which is now on its third iteration. I am almost down to the point of doing lore, but that will be easy because, one, I'm friggin' great at lore. I play God as a GM all the time and have for way longer than I want to admit to. I'm an old. So I can come up with lore, I can come up with names, I can come up with, okay, so you're robbing the bank and you need this and this and this and this, and that's how you're going to stealth the system. And the people are like, yeah, but instead we could just, knock over this one armor store and then we don't need to go in. Okay, fine. I can roll with those punches. I can do all that. That's all easy. Lore is easy for me. He's bragging. No, because I'm really crap at some other stuff. But lore, I'm good at. I'm also, with my IT degree, good at data. Get it? Star Trek joke. Lore and data and never mind. Oh. So, where the heck was I? Right. So I'm like this close to actually, I've been starting. And so a lot of the stuff is basically ready to go. It just needs to be put in formats which are compatible with each other. And then transposed, I don't know the right word, into the system book. Then I've got to learn desktop publishing. I did desktop publishing type stuff in a while ago. I keep calling myself old, but it was the 80s, early 90s. And the systems I used don't even exist anymore. They're like not a thing anymore. So I'm going to have to reteach myself desktop publishing. And the platform I was thinking of publishing on only likes these antiquated, well-established, but antiquated formats, which I'm not even sure I can find a desktop publishing program which fits my workflow and uses those formats because they really are antiquated and or deprecated, I guess is the right word. And so yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, where was I? Keep that just in case I need to do the other one for something. He's got like 5 more of these trays upstairs that just aren't empty yet, so I could make more. But I've pretty much got all the empty boxes I need for now. Like I said, I'm just rigidifying these so that I can use them. Okay. Here. You. can't see where it folds. Okie dokie. So, for those of you who are playing along in the home game, my game that I'm going to be, in this case, literally the home game, my game is going to be, I'm old school all the way, not in systems and such. I'm old school in, I want my fantasy games to be fantasy. I want like Conan the Barbarian and Elric of Melnimede and stuff like that. I don't do guns. I don't do futuristic. I don't do even modern stuff, really. I am going to be, what am I trying to say? I don't really do grim and or dark. I always like there to be like more hope than that. But I realize those are super popular. So one of my worlds will be set more grim and or dark. So at least one of my worlds. So that will be intriguing. Stepping outside the comfort zone on that one. That ought to be kind of cool to do. Fun little project. Going to get some outside help from that one. Somebody I know is really into horror, and I'm trying to rope them into it. If not, I've got a second person who I may also try to rope into it. Because I don't really do that sort of thing. The problem is when I'm scared of so little, I've got like some weirdness in my brain. Nothing really makes me go, I'm scared. And it just doesn't happen. So I don't really understand horror as that type of thing. But when I go there, almost immediately people are like, dude, that's creepy as fuck. I'm like, yeah, well, oh, by the way, I cuss on this channel. It's not for kids. There you go. That was your warning. So people go, oh my God, I can't believe you went there. That was so weird and bizarre. And I'm like, well, I freaking warned you. So yeah, I am not sure where I'm going with that. I think I'm probably going to go with one of those sort of existential dread things like the, crud. What's the actor's name? Sean Connery. The Sean Connery version of The Green Knight. Because that's just sort of, you only see like one little story. You see like the Green Knight stuff, and there's people are like, oh no, he's going to die. And then, you know, whatever. And then, but story resolves itself. That's all well and good. But there's probably a whole lot more myth and magic stuff going on in the background. Same sort of thing for what the original Willow movie tried to go for, but then didn't really get as dark as they could have. And Bavmorda was not necessarily the big bad, just so much as a big bad, that sort of thing. So I want to create one that's a lot of spooky, creepy fantasy like that. Where there's always something else just around the corner. You're like, nope, this country's too weird for me. I got to go. And you leave and you run away and you go completely to a different country. And there's also weirdness there. But it's never the whole world ending sort of thing. It's just dark, you know. You just got to watch your step all the time. That's the thing. So we shall see how all of that turns out for me. But again, like I said, I'm creating at least 32 different worlds, hypothetically. I mean, I'm definitely creating them. Whether I'm going to flesh all of them out and make 32 separate entire games using the same system over the next, 3 decades, maybe, maybe not. So, yeah, I got a lot on my plate. But it's all fun, and it keeps me going. Some people play golf. Some people own boats. Some people keep topiaries. Some people knit. I constantly have vignettes going through my head of, oh, wouldn't it be cool if? and I can turn all of those into fantasy settings, adventures, or worlds. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. But as far as the channel goes, next week we're back to the ship. I should be doing something with the sails. I should have decided which color to use that will show up better on camera, and be working on that. Or I might jump to cargo and then come back to that. It literally, I don't know. It just depends on my feeling between now and next week. But probably be sails. S-A-I-L-S, not S-A-L-E-S. Though I do mean for this to be a merchant ship, so it could be sails. But all right, I've talked y'all's ears though. All right, LC. Sorry I missed you going out again. Catch you on the Discord. That's all good. Anybody else GMing, DMing, STing, RRing? Anybody got big adventures they're planning on running people through anytime soon? RRing, for those of you who don't know, that's rabble rousing. That's the equivalent of a GM in Easy D6 by DM Scotty. It's funny, he's DM Scotty, and then he has RRs instead of DMs, but you know, switch it up. Easy D6 seems to have a lot of promise. It's not my style. I like more lore, and it's more sort of a, here's a rule system, super rules light, and there have been several cool systems. Carl from Carl Makes Stuff put out one, and I think is putting out a second one. Somebody put out one that's like a whole horror and zombie kind of thing, I think, and somebody put out like a post-apocalyptic Mad Max sort of one that I think is coming out soon or came out already. If you want to be a rabble rouser type of DM with a super rules light, go check out Easy D6. It's not my thing, just because I'm more into crunchiness than rules light, but to each their own. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. All right, almost done with this box. When I'm done with this box, it is after 8 already, so I am probably gonna do a quick wrap up after, and then roll on. I just clicked my mouse button. I hope I didn't screw anything up. All right. Okay. Yeah. LC, that's loosely collected. Sitting there in the chat if you are watching this late enough that the chat window has reposted. Been working crazy 12-hour shifts lately and all that, so it's rough. He only came in for a few seconds tonight. Always glad to have him. Always glad to have all of you. Doesn't matter what, who it is. Always glad, hanging out, having a good time. And like I said, I'm always glad to talk about anything miniature, whether it's crafting the ship I've been working on for the last several weeks, or anything for tabletop role playing in general, or tabletop wargaming, fairy houses, doll houses, book nooks, anything miniature, just cutesy miniature tchotchkes, whatever. I'm always excited about anything little. I consider most of them cutesy, even the stuff I make, even the stuff that, like, I've got a whole set of undead I won on a giveaway before, so I've got like a whole bunch of Games Workshop, I'm just going to say undead, I don't remember what they're called. And whatever. If you're into mini stuff, I consider it all cutesy and fun. So always glad to have you here watching the channel. Always glad to have anybody come over and hang out in the Discord, in the down below. So go hit the Discord, and yeah, good times shall be had, as it were. Let's see, game. Found new files. Almost got all those put in. Got that. I've decided I'm going to separate lore from systems so that I can write them more easily. Already talked about that. I have established my methodology of creating different feeling worlds by separating out the socio-political aspects and the technology level aspects. Already talked about that. I have sails coming up for the ship. I may be making some, not maybe, I will be making some dark colored sails, probably black, and some light colored sails, cream or white. Talked about that. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's about everything I can throw at you this evening. Now, I am going to try once again to have some tea without throwing it onto my hot glue gun this time. See if it's still warm after an hour and a half. Oh, there's steam coming off, so that's a good sign. Alrighty. And let me switch you back to the other one. Let me switch this light off first because it likes to blind that front camera. Okie dokie. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed me sticking cardboard to cardboard tonight. Kind of a slow night, but I knew I had a bunch of things to jabber on about, so didn't necessarily want to be crafting at the time. But now I have a bunch more sturdy boxes I can use as storage. Already started to do that. Piece of foam flying out of me. So yeah, this is Campaign Terrain. I'm your host, That Guy Cross. I sometimes actually build things instead of just messing around. But okay, I usually build things instead of just messing around. But I always try to be pretty chill. It's not a how to do, it's a how I do. Hope to motivate more than necessarily specifically educate, but I'm happy to talk about anything. I've got lots of experience at this. I've got knowledge of all sorts of things, and I'm always learning new stuff. And so if you ever want to talk about it, come hang out here, catch me in the chat. If you want to catch me not on a Sunday, hit me in the down below, hit the Discord. Go to the Discord server. Happy to talk to you there. Yeah, that's everything. Oh, remember, on, I think it's the 5th, I may have the date wrong, but the first Sunday of next month of April 2026, I will be switching from 7 p.m. to 5 p.m. still on Sundays. So just 2 hours earlier. I feel like there's something I'm missing. But yeah. All right, so welcome. If you're into anything miniature, I'm happy to talk to you. If you're into anything fantasy, sci-fi, and geeky, I want to talk to you. So come hang out here in the chats, or come to the down belows and click on the Discord, and I'll see you down there. In the meantime, we're all in this together. Know that I love you. And until next time, I wish you luck in your campaign, whether that's in real life or on a table. Thank you so much for coming to Campaign Terrain, and I will see you next time. You have a great night.